In the top stories, fire leaves a family of 5 homeless. A former educator tells teachers not to be afraid of deviant students. And West Indies open their World Cup campaign with a loss. Welcome to Nation News for Monday, February 16, 2015. I'm Natasha Beckles.
No matter where you are in the world, at home or abroad, Nation News keeps you connected with what's happening in Barbados through our website, video newscast, and online e-papers. So stay connected with Nation News. Your news, your time, your way.
A family of 5 is now homeless following a fire which destroyed their uninsured house at First Avenue Extine Village, St. Michael. It was occupied by Michael Jilts, his wife Karen, and their 3 sons, but no one was at home at the time of the blaze. Mr. Jilts told Nation News he lived in the house for 25 years and recently did some repairs to the structure. 2 other houses were slightly damaged. The 3 people charged in connection with the murder of Lamar Carter have been remanded to prison until March 5th. A large but quiet crowd gathered outside the Rock Hall St. Thomas Court this morning as 35-year-old Fidel Nkomo Aline and 25-year-old Melissa Carla Griffith appeared to answer the charge of murdering the 22-year-old between February 9th and 10th. Fidel's 31-year-old brother Javed Riyad Aline has been charged with committing acts to impede his brother's prosecution. Carter's body was found in the rear of a car after police had chased a vehicle from which 2 men fled last week Tuesday. The outstanding issues remain, but it appears to have been a smooth return for teachers at Alma Paris and Parkinson Memorial Secondary Schools on Monday. Union head Pedro Shepard said the shop steward from Alma Paris reported that things were quiet, and while he did not get a similar call from the 3 stewards at Parkinson, he assumed that conditions there were conducive to teaching and learning as well. Teachers from both schools have concerns about the way the institutions are being run, and they were engaged in meetings with the Barbados Union of Teachers for much of last week. As many express concern about deviance in schools, former educator Mark Fingal has advised teachers not to be afraid of their students. Speaking at the Lodge School after the Old Scholars Association recognized him and fellow National Independence Honors recipient Sir Henry Fraser, Mr. Fingal said instilling discipline was a part of the job.
Teachers cannot be afraid of children, you know what I mean? It's a job you got to do, and it involves guide. You have to guide children. Children need guidance. If you don't guide children, they will guide themselves. And what do they know to guide themselves? They don't really know anything. They're teenagers. And if you allow teenagers to feel that you're frightened of them, what they interpret it as a victory. And then they just do as they like and enjoy themselves at that point in time, not realizing that they're doing themselves harm. I went to a school in St. James and I saw there was a female police was there, female constable. And I thought that something had happened. When I checked, I understand that police was actually based at the school. You understand? Working there, that's where the base. Now what message is that sending? That's sending a message to the students that the teachers can't control them. The headmaster becomes nullified, you can't control them. And then if there's something that has to happen that way, police got to be called in, then the police is not going to have that impact because the police is there every day. You understand? So it takes away. So you can't do it. We got to control the children, let the police do their duty. I am saying, I use the analogy of a soldier getting killed and all the soldiers don't stop. A police get shot, all the soldiers don't stop. If in your duty as a teacher, it means instilling discipline, it means controlling the children, and if it must have, it might get a deviant child somewhere and somebody might get hurt, yes. So, but we got to stop.
Attorney at law Ralph Thorne says it's going to take a lot more than $30 million to salvage CLICO's local operations. He made the assessment on Sunday night while addressing a joint meeting of the Barbados Labour Party's Christchurch South and West Central constituency branches. Responding to reports that with a $30 million investment, a new company would run the insurance company's operations, Mr. Thorne said this budget was way too small. Meantime, opposition MP Kerry Simmons, also an attorney, called on the central bank to explain press reports that it had accepted a $5 million deposit from former CLICO boss Leroy Paris. Citizens Against Burning Stuff, a group which started on Facebook, is looking to step up its awareness campaign in 2015. Chairman Wayne Punka Willock says the group is on a mission to alert the authorities to what it has been trying to do for close to 3 years. Mr. Willock says indiscriminate burning seems to be getting worse, and he's calling for a tougher legislation to stamp out the practice. He also told Nation News that Barbadians are not speaking out enough.
We are now in a situation where people want results. but nobody's willing to say anything. So somebody will be a scapegoat where you have to go up front and put yourself on the line in order to get something happen, and then people stay in the background and reap all the sweets. Because a few people or one or two individuals will go forward and try to get things done, and then people sit back in the background and reap the sweets. They put all the photos and so on the Facebook page. They complain, they cast, they do whatever they have to do, they identify areas. But when it comes now to the media and getting serious, nothing happens.
Two wanted men turned themselves into police on Monday. They are 26-year-old Damien Andre Maradona Welch of Montrose Christchurch and 47-year-old O'Brien Fernando Knight, alias Country or Bandit of Lovell Road, Messiah Street, St. John. The men who were wanted in connection with separate matters presented themselves to two different police stations. Mr. Welch was accompanied by his attorney at law. Prime Minister Frandell Stewart has welcomed recently announced changes to the regional carrier LIAT. Speaking following a meeting of shareholder governments on Friday at Hilton, Barbados, he said the airline's fortunes should turn around with the sale of the remaining Dash 8 aircrafts and a reduction in staff numbers.
We expect to see a turnaround in the fortunes, more responsiveness to market messages, and of course once the whole issue of fleet renewal is complete and the disposal of the 7 remaining Dash 8s takes place, the reduction in the headcount is completed. We think that the act will be on a much more viable and sustainable footing.
In sport, West Indies have already started looking ahead to the next Cricket World Cup match after an embarrassing 4-wicket defeat in the opening match against Ireland. West Indies recovered from 87 for 5 to post 304 for 7, behind a century from Lendo Simmons and 89 from Darren Sammy. But Ireland overhauled the target, reaching 307 for 6 as the bowlers struggled to get wickets. Sammy shared his thoughts on that performance and the next match against Pakistan.
I think we didn't bowl well at all. I thought halfway through we went into the dressing room with the momentum in our favor. We just needed to pick up wickets with the new ball, and that's something been plaguing us for the last few series. And look, the credit must go to the Irish, the way they came out and they were positive and they had a game plan and they stuck to it. It still shows that we could learn from our position. We didn't put enough balls together to create pressure, and we end up on the losing side.
Now, you know, the West Indies now go to play against Pakistan. You would have expected to beat the Irish because they're right below you. Everyone in the next couple of games are ranked above you. What's going to be the game plan going now to beat Pakistan? It'll be tough opposition.
Yeah, look, I always believe cricket is played on the day, and like you saw today, 300 was not enough against Ireland, and look, we have to put all 3 disciplines of the game together on the cricket pitch in order to win matches. So when we bat well, we got to bowl well and field well. And right now we only doing one of those 3 disciplines. And if we don't correct that ASAP, we will be on a flight back to the Caribbean and won't be in the quarters.
The prestigious Sandy Lane Gold Cup has arrived. Acting Minister of Sport Ronald Jones and Sandy Lane General Manager Randall Wilkie were on hand on Friday to meet Captain Paul Murphy, who said he was delighted that British Airways was the carrier of choice. This is the 15th year that the Cup has been flown from Gatwick on the 777 aircraft. Local horse racing's most prestigious race is scheduled for March 7th. And finally, the tradition goes that the unmarried woman who catches the bridal bouquet at the wedding will be the next person to marry. Try telling that to Jamie Jackson, who has caught a whopping 46 bouquets since 1996, but is still unmarried. The Salt Lake City resident says there's a trick to it all. She always stands near the front of the pack in case the bouquet hits the ceiling or chandelier and drops short. She is aiming to reach 50 sometime soon, and as a reminder, keeps them all in a cabinet at her home. Jamie has even submitted a claim to the Guinness Book of World Records to have the existing record of 11 changed. And that's Nation News for Monday. For more, log on to nationnews.com as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your Daily Nation on Tuesday or subscribe to our e-paper. Thanks for joining us.